Hello everyone, welcome to another video, and this video is in series of lectures that you have been watching, wherein we are trying to learn personal finance and trying to build it right from zero and in a language that we can understand. So those who are new to the channel, you can start watching it from the first video so that you can understand. Go into the playlist section and you can see financial literacy webinars, and there you can start listening to them in sequence. In today's lecture, we'll be talking about health insurance. Now, this is, if you had seen the basics of personal finance video, you will remember that this is something which is a prerequisite of investing. Now, when I say this, I have given a statement here for you, which says that insurance is not an investment. Now, we did discuss about in the basics video that how ULIPs and term insurance are different. But today we won't be talking about ULIPs or term insurance. We would be solely focusing on health insurance, how to pick a health insurance for yourself, what are the checklists that we go through, and with a disclaimer that I am not SEBI-registered. Whatever we learn is purely for knowledge purposes. So why is it important? Being a doctor, many will say that you may be getting insurance cover from your hospital, if you are in a government setup, or maybe in a private setup, your hospital may be providing some subsidized rate. But is it needed for the Medicos too, or is it a scam? Or why people feel that it is a scam, or how to go and navigate which policies are bad for you and which is good for you, what pointers to see, we will be discussing that today. With this, let us move on to the today's talk. Okay. There is one particular point that comes in when whenever you are asked to buy a health insurance, people say, what if you keep investing the money, which is the premium for the health insurance, and let that money go and not invest in insurance at all? So my counter for that kind of mindset is, point number one is, you never know. Okay, you never know whenever the calamity will come to you. I really pray for all of you that you stay healthy. There is no calamity for all of you wherein there is some sudden health deterioration, but we never know. People feel that health insurance may be needed when we cross 50 plus or a 45 plus or a 40 plus, but it is not like that, right? Or a 60 plus. It may come any time, and we need the entire purpose of buying insurance. Let us discuss that first, is to cover your expenses till you have a very big corpus. Now, why is this? Because suppose you started investing and it is 5 years now, okay? And as we saw, if you are getting somewhere around 15% or something, your money will just be 2x here. We saw the major sort of compounding for most of the people will begin around 10 years or 15 years, where you will get a 4x, 8x, 16x or something like that sort of money. But to build that sort of money, you will need time. Now, till that time comes in, how do you ensure that you don't have to take that money out which is invested already in the market? Point number one was to invest only when the investment horizon is more than 5 years. Rest all should be kept in FDs or debt instruments. Okay, we'll go in equity only for more than 5 years, but even for more than 5 years, for 5 to 10 years, what if we don't have a corpus and suppose a medical calamity comes? So this is the place where health insurance comes in, and this is gonna save you because it will cover your expenses there, and it will save your compounding machine to break, where it can go from 2 to 4 or 4 to 8 or 8 to 16. Because at times what happens is the medical bills are so high that you won't be able to pay. Even for doctors also, I have seen so many who have unfortunately suffered from those kind of diseases where they have to pay a big amount to the hospitals, and then they are in trouble, So this is to safeguard us and our family, because we love our family a lot. We don't want their money to come in. We want to create an entire ecosystem of financial stability. So this is our gift to ourselves and our parents. So we feel that since the time period is long and we never know when the calamity hits, we'll have to buy a health insurance. There's no shortcut to this. And then the next question comes in, how much should be the adequate cover for any of a person? Should be 5 lakh, 10 lakh, 25 lakh, 50 lakh or a 1 CR? So what traditional teaching teaches us is it should roughly be a cost of a bypass. Okay, so it should roughly be around what is the cost of bypass surgery for heart, right? CABG in your particular area. Suppose it is 7 lakh or say a 10 lakh, then you should have that amount of cover. But in the modern day and scenario, there are so many cancers also coming in. There are so many conditions which are rare, and you may need some kind of medicines which are very, very costly, say a 15 lakh or a 20 lakh or 25 lakh. Again, say you may not need it, but then we'll have to cover for the unexpected expenses. This is what planning is all about, right? So what I would suggest is going somewhere around, again, this is totally my perception, your perception may change. I think when we shot a video with Rohan Khandelwal sir, it's in his YouTube channel. So back in that time, I was having insurance cover of around 10 lakh. But then, perceptions change as we evolve. So now I would prefer somewhere around 50 lakh or 1 CR. Now definitely the question will come, to buy a policy that covers me for expense of 1 CR or a 50 lakh, the premium would be high as compared to 5 lakh. Say yes or no? Definitely. Because for 5 lakh, the insurance premium would be less. So anyone who would want to save the premium would go for a lower one. But herein I'll tell you a way that I have learned wherein the premium doesn't increase significantly, but you can get a very big cover. How is it? So therein comes the concept of a base policy and a super top-up. Now what is a base policy and what is a super top-up? These terms are often confusing for us. Initially it was confusing for me as well. So if you see, base policy is something as it suggests is something which is for the first. So 0 to say a policy worth 10 lakh, then it will cover any bill between 0 to 10 lakh. 1 lakh it will be covered in this, 2 lakh covered in this, 5 lakh covered in this, 8 lakh covered in this. So the initial expense that is covered in base policy. So how much should be the base policy? I personally prefer to buy a base policy which is worth the bypass cost. So around 5 to 10 lakh would be my cost for a base policy. I currently hold a base policy of around, it was a mistake for me. I upgraded it to 25 lakh, but then if I were to renew it, I would keep it as a 10 lakh only. And I'll show that with a reason just now. Okay, how to buy a base policy, we'll learn that in the checklist just after this. Okay, which I use it as a framework to buy any health insurance. Then comes the concept of super top-up. So say if I have a super top-up of 20 lakh, this means that from 10.1 lakh or whatever you call it, okay, you get the concept, right? So from this to 20 lakh, the entire expense, so first 10 lakh would be covered by base policy. Any expense after that would be covered by super top-up. So I hope this is clear. Super top-up would come with a deductible. This is called as deductible. Deductible means the base policy won't be covered. The first 10 lakh won't be covered. So deductible of 10 lakh would be there if you have a base policy of 10 lakh. Getting my point? It is pretty cheaper. Why is it cheaper? Because the chances of you exhausting the 10 lakh limit and going into beyond that is less, definitely, because most of the major illnesses are covered in that. But if a super rare occurrence occur, then only this will be useful. So I purchased for 90 lakhs super top up for 999 rupees only I spent, and I got a super top up of around 90 lakh. So I was supposed to buy a 10 lakh base policy, but I ended up buying a 25 lakh base policy. This is something more. So roughly my health insurance covered is currently around 1.1 CR. Getting my point? 1.15 CR to be precise. So you have to buy a health base policy and then a super top up. Next benefit is it can be of any company. So my base policy is from, again, this is not a recommendation. I'll do a detailed session on this also. Please do not go and buy this thing up. If you want me to discuss about the best health insurance policy that is available, then drop a comment below. We'll get the industry experts who are working on this particular insurance industry, and we'll do a session on this as well. So do drop in a comment. Don't just wait for anyone else. Okay. So I have a HDFC Argo Optima Secure plan for a base policy, and I have a Niva Bupa for a super top up. So a base policy of around 25 lakh for me, you should preferable one is 10 lakh, and then this is the super top up concept. So therein the premium is very less. So base policy costed me somewhere around 12,500 or 13,000. It may vary for a person to person. Okay, we'll see the pointers and then you can take a call. Don't just go for a lower premium one. That is not the criteria to decide base policy. Okay. Then buying only base policy with a higher cover is usually more expensive, which is the mistake I did, and I don't want you guys to do a mistake. So higher cover as 10 lakh base policy versus a 25 lakh base policy. So I ended up paying extra premium for that. But then that mistake I did after first year's renewal. So what happened was the no claim benefit was also there for me. We'll discuss all of these things. So ideal pairing I told you. Then let us look at the checklist. Okay. So first checklist should be adequate cover. Your cover should be adequate, otherwise there's no point of buying a health insurance. Okay. So we learned how much cover should be there and how to buy those cover. The second thing is, which is in my checklist, is pre and post hospitalization cover. So most of the policies will come in as to the expenses that is covered pre-hospitalization. There will be tests, there will be lots of things that may be needed pre-hospitalization, those or a pre-surgery, those things will be covered. And post-hospitalization, there will be lots of visits and those things, those may be covered. So ideally, it is said around 60 days pre-hospitalization and 180 days post-hospitalization cover should be there. The more, the better. Okay, but don't end up paying a lot of premium for this particular feature. Then there is a concept of waiting period of pre-existing illness. Now, why is it important? Because if suppose you are having pre-existing illness, there are some illnesses which can get covered. There are some which may get rejected also. So there are certain conditions which may be rejected by the insurer if your particular condition is there. But for most of them, you may get insurance, but with a waiting period. So say suppose you have hidden something. Suppose you have a cataract, and now you suddenly say after buying a policy 15 days you say I have a cataract now. So they won't let you do it for free. Okay, so there you have to see in the list what is the waiting period for a particular disease that you are considering. This is an important point. The other thing is coverage for maternity benefits and daycare surgeries. So most of the policies whichever you may be buying doesn't have this feature. So if you want to discuss about specifically about maternity benefits and daycare surgeries are quite covered, but maternity benefits are often not covered in lots of policies. So if you want us to cover that, then comment down below. We'll cover that in the next video that we do with the expert. Okay. Then is if the treatment is cashless in your nearby hospital, also check this. So recently there was rule by IRDA, which is the regulatory body for insurance all over the country. They said that you have to provide mandatory cashless treatment for the ones who are holding the policies. So if this rule comes in, till it kicks in, I'm not very sure when it will kick in, but then you will have to see there is entirely cashless treatment that is needed for you, because you will have to pay otherwise from your pocket. Then the other is room rent capping. So this is again a point wherein lots of people get trapped. The policy premium may be low, but there will be room rent capping कि आप 4,000 से ऊपर का रूम नहीं ले सकते, 5,000 से ऊपर का रूम नहीं ले सकते. Now if this happens, then you will ultimately have to shift in a general ward or something like that, and that may be a troublesome experience for you. There are policies who may say कि total cost का 1% ही होना चाहिए, those things are there. So ideal is no capping on the room rent कि मेरे को 5,000 का रूम लेना है, 10,000 का लेना है, 15,000 का लेना है. Whatever I take, the insurer should pay for those and should cover those costs. The other small thing that you also should see is it a single AC private room or a shared room, or there is another provision also. If you are taking a shared room, if it say you are in a hospital and you are in a dire situation where there is no private AC room available, then if you take a shared room, some insurers also give, some policies also give you cash incentive for that. कि आपने भाई you deserved a better room, but if you are taking an inferior room, then we'll provide you cash incentive for that. The other important thing which most insurers cover, but then you'll have to check this pointer also, is routine ambulance cost or air ambulance cost. I think most policies cover up to 5 lakh for air ambulance. Again, these things are not needed in most scenarios, but then you'll have to ensure, because again, this entire concept of insurance is there to look for unexpected occurrences. Okay, so you'll have to see routine ambulance or air ambulance cost is included or not. Then we see for restoration benefit. This is something which is important to see. किसी में रहता है restoration benefit available नहीं है. Restoration का मतलब क्या होता है? Suppose you took a policy of 10 lakh and you have exhausted that 10 lakh. Now, can I restore that, or will I have to buy another policy? If you are not able to restore that, then probably you will have to pay higher. Definitely the premium may increase, but then you will have to end up paying a lot of things from your pocket if the cost of treatment gets high. Although we are doing a super top up to cover that thing, but still you need to see unlimited restoration benefit is ideally something that we should look at. Then you will have to point number 10 is the most important feature wherein most of the insurance claims get rejected. When we'll discuss it in the next video with the expert, you will also get to hear this. If there is any disease which is 48 months prior, and you think even for small cysts, even for say you're a smoker and you hide it, you are an alcoholic and you hide it, there are so many provisions where your insurer can straight away reject if your pre-existing illness was there and you did not declare it at the time of buying an insurance. And then we say that it is a scam. This is one of the most common cause where see, if you are legit, then there is no way. If you have declared whatever health condition was there, and if your insurer has issued you a policy, then there is no way they can reject your claim. But still, if they reject it, then this is the most common ground. So you will have to take care of this particular feature out of everything. Okay. Then you will have to see waiting period for some pre-existing illness, as I said. Then cost of disposable items are covered or not. Pre-COVID, lots of policies were there which did not cover the disposable items like gloves, syringes, or those things. But during the COVID fiasco, we realized that this is also one of the very important costs. So you will have to take care of this cost also if it is covered or not. Ideally, it should get covered. Then other important feature which is there is no claim bonus or discount. Now what happens is, this insurance companies, what they do is, suppose this is the year that you do not claim. इस साल हमने पॉलिसी भरी, प्रीमियम पे किया, and we don't claim it. Next year also we do not pay it, claim it. Third year also we do not claim it. We are very healthy. We are taking care of our health. So what policies do is they'll give you a no claim bonus or a discount in the next renewal, or they may give a 50% bonus on the insurance cover, total cover that is provided. Say it was 10 lakh, then it may become 15 lakh. So no claim bonus or discounts are preferable for us. Then suppose COVID like scenario comes, I don't wish it comes, but then if it comes and there are no hospitals which are having beds vacant, then is home healthcare charge covered under the policy or not? If we get a nurse, if we do a home healthcare charge, is it available or not? Then other benefit was which is not there in the newer regime is tax exemption in the old regime. So this is a benefit also for buying. This is not a criteria, but then this is a benefit of buying a health insurance. So these are the 14 or so pointers which I like to see before buying a health insurance. If I have missed any, you can comment down below and add it to the list. I have tried to make it more comprehensive, but try to keep it simple as well in the form of a checklist so that it becomes easy for you to buy. Next question automatically comes at where to buy it from. Should I buy it from? Again, this video is not sponsored by anyone. Where should you buy? Should I buy it from Ditto? Should I buy it from Policy Bazaar? Should I buy it from directly from the company? So the thing is, you can check the rates of various policies on these platforms like Policy Bazaar or Ditto or other platforms, but there are lots of nuisance calls. They'll keep calling you over and over and over again till you are frustrated. With all due respect to the people, but then they should give the privacy to the people who have purchased or who are looking to buy insurance. So I don't prefer to go via that route, or you can give some other number and see how it works, but it's your call. Ultimately, buying directly from the policy person or the company may give you better benefits. And the next question comes in wherein you want to know why a agent versus a no agent. Should I buy it via agent or should I buy it via no agent? So if you are see, this is again, you may call me biased, but then I feel if you're someone who do not know any basic about it and you are skeptical, then it is better to go by agent. Agent कौन सा? जिसके पास एक्सपीरियंस हो, जो क्लेम कराने में हेल्प करे, पॉलिसी बेस कर भाग ना जाए. Otherwise, it is better to buy without agent. Okay, so we will try and bring someone who is into this business, but then that is not a recommendation to buy it from him. Okay, we just want to understand how this particular industry works and what are the problems that can come in. So we are well prepared for that. The other thing is, my previous policy was horrible. So when you see the checklist and you realize that there are so many things that are not covered in your policy, when you see this checklist, can I change it now? Yes, there is a method to change it, that is called as porting. जैसे अपन SIM card port कराते हैं from one company to other. So this is porting, but then for porting purposes, I strongly believe that you should do it via a particular qualified person who is capable of doing it, so that they can pass on the information accurately, and if there are no claims on the previous side, then they can help you get some benefit out of that in the newer company's policy that you are buying in. You may do it on your own as well, or you may take help or third party aggregators or somewhere like that, but I prefer to do it, I would prefer to do it via someone, a credible person. This is your call. This is not a recommendation. So with this video, I think we come to the conclusion for health insurance part. If there are any doubts regarding this, then just let me know, and tomorrow I'll be in Ames Kalyani. I'm just shooting this video at night because in between it was quite a long gap. I was busy with my clinical work, and then lots of other things are going on, so taking care of that was quite busy for me. Then I had 2 interviews in ET now as well, and it's going quite good, but then I want to stay connected with all of you and keep building on this thing. So I'll just share you where we are and how we have gone. We discussed with the basics of personal finance, then we discussed mutual funds. Okay, we discussed some basics, some smart ways to deal with mutual funds, and today we discussed about health insurance. You can check those videos previously. Now one thing that I need to cover here is term insurance versus ULIPs and how to buy term insurance. So these are the prerequisites. Then we have to have a short video on FDs versus debt funds, how to use it, and other. If you are interested, I can cover entire video on debt funds separately. Then probably we can go into basics of stock picking. Okay, basics of stock picking, and then we can learn a little bit about fundamental analysis, reading balance sheet, doing valuations and everything. Okay, if you are okay with this, you can just comment down in the comment box. If you are enjoying the video, share the video with someone who can benefit out of this, so that they can come on the journey of the personal finance. And I feel that this entire curriculum should have been there in our medical curriculum, but then unfortunately it is not there, so we are learning it here, and I hope you all are enjoying it. Please drop in a message or a comment or anything, so that I can get a feedback on this. So if you guys are enjoying it and if you are able to understand it, बहुत ज़्यादा technical तो नहीं हो रहा, ये भी मुझे आप एक feedback देना. If it's all going fine, then we'll continue with the same pace and the same intensity that we are going on. Otherwise, we'll try and bring some change or anything. And one more thing, I want so those who are seeing the basics video, you can continue with the basics video. There are some videos which are coming in with, say, there was one video with Aditya Shah wherein I discussed chemical sector. There was one video on banking sector. So those videos are for intermediates or experts. Okay, so you can preferably skip those videos. When you learn the basics and you are having kind of basic framework that is created, after that you will understand all those videos, trust me. So this is how you can navigate around the channel. Also, you can skip those videos for now. You can just focus on the basics video, and I'll keep coming with the basics videos also. I won't just focus on the intermediate or the expert level. So with this, I hope we'll meet soon, and I'll stay regular. Thank you so much. Happy compounding. Jai Hind.